What is up, watch people? Welcome to another edition of Talking Timepieces with Tony, and today I am wearing my Omega Seamaster 300M Professional, and I figured I'd just wear this since we're doing Omega Globemaster versus the Rolex 41 Datejust. So let's roll the intro and we'll talk about it. All right, let's get into this. All right, so first let's talk about the Omega Globemaster. It came out in 2015. It's $7,200. And the reason why I'm comparing the Globemaster to the Datejust 41 is the fact that they both have date apertures, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I would have compared the OP to the Omega, but because the Rolex has a date aperture as well, then I'm just comparing those two. And I do think the Omega is kind of trying to look a little bit like the Datejust there. So anyway, so the Globemaster, it was the first watch to ever receive a master chronometer certification. It stems from the Constellation that came out in 1952, and so it does have that history there. Heritage-wise, it's aesthetically wise does not really look the same apart from on the dial, kind of I wouldn't say octagon, but like a 50 pence piece from England, you know. Anyway, it does have some similarities. Again, 39 millimeter case, 316L stainless steel, stick indices, and the hands I believe are also rhodium plated. It has 100 meters water resistance, and it uses the 8900 movement, which in general, I believe the 8800 has been a little bit more popular. That, for instance, the one in the Seamaster here, 60 hours power reserve. They have a few variants of the watch. Again, starting at 70, I think $7,200, and a few different dial colors. It's a good-looking watch. It has a fluted bezel, similar to the bezel on the Rolex. They even have, for $33,000, a rose gold version that is an annual calendar, which kind of is on par with the Sky Dweller. So overall, it's a decent watch. And now let's just move on to the Rolex 41 millimeter Datejust. The difference is, okay, you've got a 41 millimeter case. You have baton indices. The date aperture is at the 3 o'clock position with the Cyclops, which magnifies the date 2.5 times. So you can really see the date. I really like that on that watch because I can look at it and see what time, what the date is. On this watch, again, also on the Globemaster, the date aperture is at the 6 o'clock, and unless I have glasses on, I ain't ever going to be able to tell you what the date is without looking at my phone. All of the indices on the Rolex and the coronet at the 12 o'clock position are in solid gold, regardless of the model, and regardless if it's an OP or a Datejust. The variations are, there's so many different variations of the 41 millimeter Datejust. It has the 32-35 Rolex movement. It has 70-hour power reserve, also 100 meters water resistance. You can get it on an oyster case. I'm sorry, yeah, they come in both. It's the oyster case. You get it on an oyster bracelet or a Jubilee bracelet. You get a domed bezel or a fluted bezel that's 18 karat white or yellow gold. You have that watch in a multitude of colors on the dial. Variations include, you know, the two-tone with yellow gold, stainless, rose gold stainless, solid rose gold. Actually, that would be a day date, but having said that, there's different variations of that watch. There's more to choose from, which I really like. So on that note, which one would I choose I'm biased because I really do like Rolex, but I also have an Omega. So if it was up to me, I would say, hey man, I'm gonna take a sip of beer first, and then I would say for $7,200 for the Omega. What the Omega has that would be the plus over the Rolex is it has basically a 39 millimeter case, and the 39 millimeter case it's a little bit more wearable. I had a 39 millimeter OP Rolex that was just the perfect size. 41 is a little bit big depending on the size of your wrist, but it's still overall, I'd say that is the plus. That's the advantage that the Globemaster has over the Rolex. Other than that, I would say that overall, yeah, I'm biased with Rolex. I would go with the Rolex any day. You're spending a little bit more money on it, but the variations, Rolex has a little bit more of the history on that. The Datejust came out in 1945, whereas the Constellation 1952. There's more heritage. It looks like it owns the place when you wear it. The no disrespect to Omega people that love this watch, but to me the Globemaster seems a bit yeah, all right. So you got an Omega. There's nothing to really go, wow, that's a beautiful watch. It is a nice looking watch, don't get me wrong. But if I was honestly going to go for between the two, the Rolex or the Omega, any day, I'll take the Rolex. If I was going for just the look of that Omega, but it didn't have to be Omega, I would go with the Oris Pro Pilot X for like $4,000. You're looking at $3,000 cheaper than the Omega. So that's where I would be with that. If I had to choose an Omega and compare with the Rolex and go with a certain Omega, then I would go with the Aquaterra. The Aquaterra is a bitchin' watch. Plus, it also has the 8800 movement, which apparently is a little bit better than the 8900 movement that's in the Globemaster. I hope all this made sense, and I hope I didn't bore you to death with this review, but that's what it is. And just I thank you to everyone who's watching my channel and subscribing and liking and all that stuff. So, till next time, catch you later.